Like I said, this now at the $1 billion market cap is like $30 million. So, I mean, if this thing 100x's, 1000x's, I'll have $1 billion.
Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo with Crypto Gains. What's going on, guys? More Xen Farm update. The last 24 hours has been pretty much just completely insane. Going over to ultrasound money, let's just jump right into it. GUE is very high, 66. It's bouncing up to 71. It is just not letting up. I know the Trump NFT mint was today, V2. It's kind of pushing things up, and there's some other things going on, and then obviously people FOMOing into Xen. So what does that equivalent to? Well, the open seas are about 1.14, so about 2,300. And the question is, should I buy off OpenSea or should I mint? Well, that's completely up to you and whatever your strategy is, okay? Number one, just keep that in mind. Ultimately, you're just trying to stack your bags and get as much Xen as you possibly can, okay? So now if I go over to Xen Crypto and let's just mint a max VMU and we will do market. It's about $3,000. So the question right there should be answered. Unless you're trying to control your redemption dates, 3,000 you can get it cheaper on OpenSea. Okay, so if you're just trying to establish that first Centurion, as I've told a lot of people, at a minimum, even my kids have Centurions. You want at least one Centurion on ETH and set it and forget it and just forget about it. Okay. And you'll be handsomely rewarded, most likely. So let's talk about the other chains. There's the Xen USDC. Kind of, we popped, it kept going. It peaked out at like 9.5, not 7.6. It's just absolute insanity. I know the night auctions are going on over on, let's see, they're auctioning off those Bitcoin ordinals, 1.4 billion. That's expensive. So there's 100 of those, and I'm just seeing how the bidding comes out because these first ones are going to be expensive. The first is always the most expensive. So I'd like to have one, but for $5,000 or $10,000, you know, I have a Zunicorn or two, but I'd love to have a night. We'll see how it works out. I'll keep you posted on that. Looking at BNB, baby. This one, I'm telling you what, has really popped off. Not doing bad. 8118. Pull info. Pull is, remember, this was a V3 pull, so this kind of got started secondary to the main pull. It's starting to get some traction. Market cap 739,000. Low. Very, very low to establish your position. And I stress that to newcomers to Xen is don't overlook these other chains, okay? Think of it as a coin distribution to get coins with no slippage and you're trading time for money, okay? For a very small investment, you can establish some really good positions on some of these other chains, okay? So far, I am in ETH, Poly, BNB, Avalanche, and I messed with Phantom a little today. It's Phantom. I don't know what to think about Phantom, but it is what it is. The multiplier is still good on it, but Poly, let's see here. We got to do the get out of the L zone. Let's get the L. Poly has just pretty much been about straight up. That's some volume right there. The one thing about Poly is it has a lot more circulating supply out there. So, you know, I think this one, the liquidity in the last couple of days has gone up like 20% each day. But Poly to me is a no-brainer. Xens are $6 to $7. Oh, and let me jump back to BSC for a second. If you're trying to mint on BSC, number one, use a secondary or third wallet that you're not going to be tempted to cancel the transaction. Let me get that out there. Number two, watch my video on minting cheap NFTs on BSC. Number three, add the anchor RPC. Number 4, mint, adjust your GUI to 125 to 14. That's about $36 to $41 per Centurion. Okay? $36 to $41, which equivalates into about 0.09 to 0.11 BNB. Set it and forget it. Pound in 10 of those transactions into your wallet on that secondary wallet and just let it run. I've had it where it takes 2 days and it doesn't do anything. And then I've had it where in a couple hours it runs through. The key is it's on a secondary node, so it takes a little time to pick up into the pool. But I've had 1.1s, those are really hard to get through. You're probably just going to hang. It's going to slowly get more expensive. So you want to get them in while you can, okay? AVAX. This looks like a monkey on cocaine. But AVAX, not doing too bad, not doing too bad. Moving along solidly. So I told you the experience on minting this was pretty easy. I had no problems at all. And it was cheap. It was cheap. And AVAX is actually the secret alpha in this video because it's got one of the highest multipliers. It's got the worst liquidity, okay? But it's got one of the highest multipliers. Phantom, not doing too bad, not doing too bad. 2217. Why do all these charts look like big L's? So that is the price update. So where does that leave my farm? As always, I'm going to show you my farm. All right, we are up about $700,000 in 24 hours. Dashboard money. Got about 62,000 in. 143,000 wallets, also aka VMUs. Ethereum, BNB, Poly. So Ethereum 163 billion, BNB almost 2 trillion coins. I want to be a super whale on BNB. It's a no-brainer to me. If you can get a trillion, you can get 1 trillion coins for $3 grand. Just get them and forget about it. Come back in a year or two. All right, 2 trillion coins. That's a lot of coins. Poly, not doing too bad. 1.1 trillion. Now my EAAs on these are both pretty dead. So a lot of people mint when they're new to Xen. They're like, well, how do I know how many coins I have? What can I expect? Your coins usually go up every day as your Xen NFT matures. It's kind of like a certificate of deposit, okay? X, like I said, $988. Phantom, it's got a good multiplier, but you got to mint like a bazillion of them. I don't know, and there's not much liquidity. This is probably my least favorite of them all. But here's the big boy thing to take away from this. This is the Centurion multiplier. This is going to change. 26x on ETH, 26x on BNB, 32 on Poly, 102 on AVAX. And like I said, the amplifier bonus is huge on AVAX. So people that get in behind you push your coin count up because you get the early amplifier bonus. Phantom at 33x, but $2,000, man. I spend this on a weekend in the city. So now, ETH is I got a lot of mine for like $400. So I'm 65x on those. But you know, I'm gonna keep it more fair to kind of market conditions. That it's gonna cost you $1,000. Minting wise, I threw a couple out there with higher than what I wanted to GUI. It's still cheaper than OpenSea. But again, a big tip is just to use that secondary wallet so that you're not tempted to cancel a transaction. You just let it roll. So that is the farm update. And then I had some people asking me, what am I doing with these ladders? Am I selling and reminting? To answer that question, I would say anything under 150 days is fun money. It's to participate in these protocols that are coming out and to maybe sell a little here or there if there's more moons. But I want to stress to everyone, this is all dashboard money. and you don't know what the price is then is going to do. But the important thing is to keep an eye on the market cap. Like I said, this now at the $1 billion market cap is like $30 million. So, I mean, if this thing 100x's, 1000x's, I'll have $1 billion. Like, can't cash it all out all at once. But back to what I was talking about with my strategies. Am I reminting and looping? No, because remember, you're trading time, you're trading money, you're trading time for money, okay? So don't let that escape you. And people are very tempted to trade this, and I warn you against that. That this thing could dip, a big whale could come in and suck up a bunch of the liquidity. You don't know, okay? You don't know. So trading this, you have to time it properly. If you're a trader, fantastic. But the unknown factor is here is people have coins unlocking every day. You know, I told you that wave of those coin toil people, those are the people that are making serious bank right now because they're 2 or 3 months ahead of the NFT people. So just really, really balance your risk on that because you could get giga wrecked trying to trade this. And you could get locked under a cloud for a long time. It's better just to mint some ladders and, you know, bird in the hand, as I always say, and then move from there. So that is the farm update. Another question. I've had a lot of people ask me, Slobo, how are you getting on other chains? Well, I use a tried and true bridge, and that is Synapse. You basically what you need to know is let's say I'm over on ETH, okay? And I have some ETH. You're going to go to Uniswap, you're going to flip it to USDC. Most of these bridges, everything works under the stable coins, okay? So wherever your start point is, maybe it's BNB. Go to PancakeSwap, swap BNB for USDC. Come to Synapse, go here, select your desired chain, okay? I want to go to Polygon, and then I put in my bridge, and then it bridges the money over for a fee. No sexes, you can just use the bridge. I've used this a million times and never had any problems. So, but always, bridges always have risk. So do a test transaction first to get the feel for it. Your history will go down here as confirmations. Depending on what chain you're moving to and from, it could take longer, little longer, a little less. It just really depends. Okay, so basically whatever chain. Now let's say I was going to Matic and I wanted to go to BNB. I'd go over to QuickSwap. I'd switch my Matic to USDC. I'd come over here, I'd select BNB, I get the USDC, I bridge it, I go to Pancake, I flip that to BNB, and then I mint my NFT. It's almost like a wrap. So that is how you get on the other chains, and their chain list is pretty exhaustive. Ethereum, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Polygon, Phantom. So most of your big hitters here. So you can jump around with chains and move funds, you know, no problem. Now, security OpSpec. I would use a burner to do the bridge because you're giving it permission to your USDC. So I would not use your main cold wallet for a bridge ever because of some glitch in the bridge. Not only could you lose your funds you're bridging, you could lose the funds that are in your wallet. And we don't want that to happen. So use a burner for your for bridging, and you can jump around on the chains. Okay? So that is today's update. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get after it. We are on Tuesday. Get those taxes done, baby. Last chance. As always, this is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.